Hi, my name is Brittany and I'm an international student from New York studying at Queen's University Belfast. I study creative writing and I'm doing the master's program. I chose Queen's because on my hunt for a university, I stumbled across the Queen's University website, and it was beautiful. I'm not even kidding, it was kind of a mystical experience. I looked at a picture of Queen's University and I just kind of felt like I could see myself living there. I could see myself feeling at home there. And that was my biggest thing. I kind of just went with my intuition, and I feel like anybody who's kind of doing this, you have to trust your gut, trust your intuition, and even if you're afraid, it's so interesting because even if you're afraid, your intuition's going to be louder than the fear. And if the excitement is louder than the fear, do it. Just do it, take that leap of faith, and you're not going to regret it. Queen's really does so much. They do so much to help you assimilate into the community and find your place. And for me, I mean, they had, in my accommodation, they had like an ice cream night, they had coloring, they had so much. At the student union building, they had the like freshers fair with all the clubs and societies, and literally within the first week, a week that I thought might have been wrought with, homesickness and fear and worry and maybe that, crippling self-doubt trickling in, and it didn't happen. Every fear that I thought I was going to have didn't even get the chance to surface because Queen's had so many fun things planned, from fairs to socials to cafe crawls to pub crawls. There was so much happening, and I didn't really get that chance to sit there and go, did I make the right decision? Because they came in immediately to confirm that it was the right decision. I made so many friends in the first week within my course and within other courses. I had so many opportunities to the clubs all start up really fast. So there really wasn't a moment for me to sit and go, was this the right decision? Because like I said, immediately there was proof upon proof upon proof that it was the right decision because there was just so much fun stuff happening. They had incredible clubs and societies, so many clubs and societies that it made me so excited. They had, for me, they had the theater society, musical theater society, fashion society, English society. They had every society you can think of. I really, really wanted to go somewhere that was going to have opportunities for me to expand and grow and discover more interests. Like, I don't think we ever really stop learning. So if you're watching this at 18 or if you're watching this at 78, I feel like we never stop growing, we never stop finding more of ourselves, and I think education gives us the chance to sort of go into the roadmap of our interests and just explore every path possible. And Queen's having that many clubs, that many societies, I ended up joining societies that I didn't even think I would. I joined the Philosophy Society, I joined like the Mythology Society. There were just so many. Yoga Society. Like, I just ended up joining and looking at all the meetings, going to whichever ones just felt like interesting to me. And I went to a couple that I didn't necessarily think were interesting at the beginning, just to see if I could, if there might be something there. And I think that that's really beautiful. They have so many opportunities for that. I can honestly tell you that my course has been more than a course. I have found a family and a community in my course that I never thought I would ever have. I met people from all over the world, like my peers and my colleagues were from all over the world, and that was magical. I have friends from places that I never thought I'd have friends because I was always so cooped up in New York. I went to a university that was local, and we had a couple international kids, but being an international student in an international city was magic, and I can never express how grateful I am for that. And my program, my lecturers, my professors were some of the warmest and most inspiring people that I've ever met in my life. Every single one of them made me feel like they were personally invested in my success, not just as a student, but as like a human. I felt loved, I felt cared about, I felt like they knew that being an international student can sometimes be hard and it can sometimes be intimidating, but They went above and beyond to make me feel like I was safe and home there, from the students to the lecturers to everybody. Everybody that I encountered at Queen's made me feel like my happiness, my comfort, and my education, my growth was a top priority. And I seriously can't express how grateful I am. Queen's is a Russell Group university, which I did not know what that was before I had arrived there, actually. So I was very, very surprised when I found out that it was actually part of this really prestigious group, and I was so delighted by that. And I think that that's really wonderful. I think that moving forward, not only do I leave Queen's University with this huge feeling of accomplishment from that, but I also know that when I go into looking for jobs and looking for places to expand and grow in the world of the workforce, I really feel like having that certification is really awesome. I felt like Belfast was small enough that people could really get to know each other, and you could form those community bonds with people that you know from the cafes, the grocery stores, people you can just kind of keep in touch with and make friends around every corner. I made friends just walking to the bookstore, just walking around, because people felt like they were genuinely welcoming and they want to talk to you, and it was just so beautiful. So it was small enough that you could form that, but big enough that you never really get bored. There's always things to do. There's rooftop cafes, there's pubs, there's music, there's so much. So I felt like Belfast had this beautiful balance of that, being a big enough city where you can walk around and you can find new things every day, and small enough city that you can have community and you can actually get to know the people and you can be known by the people and never really feel like you are alone. Again, you never feel alone. If I had to wrap it up in one sentence, I'd say Belfast is a city where you're just never going to feel bored and you're never going to feel alone.